All right, let's get started. What you're looking at here is a practical, real-world marketing plan for pest control businesses heading into 2026 based on what's actually producing book jobs today. And when I say what works, I mean channels and systems that consistently generate phone calls and form fills. And when I say what's changing, I'm talking about shifts that are quietly making old strategies more expensive or less effective. And when I say what to prioritize, I mean where your time and budget should go first, not eventually. So for pest control owners, clarity beats complexity every time. And this session is about replacing guesswork with a roadmap. So let's look at the agenda today and where we'll spend our time. And I want you to notice how practical this is. So, what's changing in pest control marketing in 2026? We'll start by looking at what's actually different now because strategies that worked 3 years ago or even last year don't always work the same way. Marketing channels that matter the most right now. We'll focus on the channels that are producing results right now for pest control companies, not trends or predictions. And then KPIs that connect marketing to real revenue. We'll talk about which numbers actually matter, the ones that connect marketing activity to dollars in the bank. The goal here is to leave you with a clear plan and not just a to-do list. So, why 2026 is a turning point? To understand where to go in 2026, you first have to understand why this moment is different. So, local service markets are more competitive than ever. There are more pest control companies competing for the same local customers and more marketing noise than ever before. Google Ads costs for home services have risen steadily year over year. Google Ads, they just have. They've increased year over year, meaning inefficiency gets expensive fast. And customers expect faster responses and higher trust before even booking. Customers expect immediate responses and a clear proof of trust before they book your service. Now, in many local service categories and markets, cost per click has increased 20 to 40% over the past few years, forcing businesses to be smarter, not louder. Marketing used to forgive efficiency, but in 2026, it doesn't. And pest control owners feel that pressure first. So let's talk about these shifts, these marketing shifts. Marketing is no longer about traffic, it's about conversion. People and getting them to your website isn't the hard part anymore. Turning that attention into a book job or a reoccurring customer is where the real battle is. Speed, trust, and follow up outperform flashy campaigns. A fast response and clear trust signals will outperform some of the most creative ads every single time. Systems beat one off tactics. One off campaigns come and go, but building systems that create consistency, that is where you can get predictable revenue. So the companies winning in 2026 aren't necessarily louder. They're clearer, they're faster, and they're more reliable. So for pest control companies and owners, growth now comes from structure, not just random marketing campaigns and ideas. Let's talk about AI, and not the hype, but the part that actually matters. So faster lead response and follow-up. AI is being used to instantly route leads, notify your right team members, and reduce response time uh, dramatically. Um, it's also smarter segmentation and targeting. Automated follow-up ensures that none of your leads, especially those marketing leads, get lost or forgotten just because someone was busy or out on a route. It also helps prioritize the hottest leads so your team can focus their effort on what matters most. And of course, creating consistency across those marketing channels. Studies consistently show that responding within 5 minutes can increase conversion rates by 2 to 3 times compared to slower follow-up. And I'd say that's pretty generous, 5 minutes. In today's competitive local markets, even pest control follow-up times os- often require even quicker than 5 minute follow-ups before your competition then gets the next opportunity. So, when thinking about AI, it's again important to know that AI just doesn't replace people, it's replacing delays. And as you know, those delays cost pest control companies real money. So, just to kind of summarize again, what does this mean for pest control owners? Missed calls and slow replies are revenue leaks. Every missed call or delay response is a potential job going to that competitor. Manual follow-up just doesn't scale. As lead volume increases, as you're pushing for more leads, more jobs, whether it's through organic or paid marketing strategies, those manual processes will break, and then that consistency of those leads will disappear. And automation protects you from those human inconsistencies. So the automation will create that reliability even when your team is busy, understaffed, or stretched thin, depending on the day or season of your company. So most pest control companies don't lose because business has low demand. They lose it because of these slow responses, and that's where I see AI really coming in and adding value. Now, what about short form video? Um, Short form video is what's really dominating attention. When we talk about trust and how people actually build it today, short form video is really commanding. It protects, what people really want to see and what you're showing. So customers want to see the real people behind the company before they even ever pick up the phone sometime. Video builds familiarity before that call, and when someone has seen your face or heard your voice, that first call feels a little less risky for them. And these short clips outperform static posts. So short form video, whether it's on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok, these short form videos consistently outperform static content for reach and engagement. And static referring to just posts of images. So for local service businesses, short form video now drives the majority of organic social visibility. Um, People don't need perfection. They need proof that you're real. And that's something that sometimes is hard to grasp as a business owner, especially in home services. And we see a lot of content out there in social media that looks perfect and very well produced, which a lot of them are. But a lot of people, they aren't looking for that perfection. They want to know that you're a real company and that you can help them and you can build that trust with them through short form. So what is actually working in this pest control video? A few things. So quick pest prevention tips, simple tips, position you as a helpful and knowledgeable owner company and not too salesy. Behind the scenes of different service clips showing this real work builds that trust and authenticity with these customers, whether they're new customers, current customers, constantly building that trust and authenticity. Also, local or seasonal advice, common in pest control, right? The different seasons, different bugs and pests. So, seasonal advice makes your content timely and relevant. Very important in this digital era. And also, short explanations of common problems. Answering common questions, again, reduces friction before that call even happens. If they see that their questions are being answered through some of your content before they get on the phone with you, again, that friction is eliminated. So, really, consistency matters more than quality when we're talking about pest control video, especially as you're starting with short form video. Posting weekly beats posting perfectly anytime. Video is digital word of mouth, and it's here for the next while. Let's now move into local SEO because even with all these changes, there's one channel that still dominates: local SEO and Google business visibility. So pest problems create urgent, high intent searches. When people have pests, they don't browse, they search with intent. Near me searches continue to grow year over year. Local intent searches continue to rise. And Google Business Profiles heavily influence call volume from what we see. Your Google Business Profile often determines who gets that call. So, for many pest control companies, Google Business Profile drives the majority of inbound calls. It is, in a sense, another form of your business, your storefront, your digital storefront is your Google Business Profile. It's so important to have that dialed in. And, as I said, for many local business, even outside of pest control, it is very important to have your Google Business Profile optimized for local search and SEO. Because if you're invisible locally, it's almost as if you don't exist. But visibility alone isn't enough. And that's what we're going to talk about now is trust seals the deal, reviews and trust signals. Review quantity and recency. So more recent reviews signal an active, reliable business. It's great if you have quite a few Google reviews, especially if they're close to 5 stars, but continue to generate reviews also shows that you're active and you're really reliable. Responding to reviews. Responses show professionalism and care, and Google likes to see you engage with the reviews. So it's one thing to get the reviews in from your customers, and it's another part to respond and engage with those reviews and highlight them. You can highlight them on your website and highlight them on your Google Biz profile, social media. Leverage those reviews as more trust signals. Accurate photos and service information. Businesses with stronger reviews consistently outperform competitors with similar pricing. Reviews are your digital reputation, and if they go unmanaged, they could cost you jobs. Now, I want to talk about something owning your customer data, something most companies maybe underutilize. So, this has to do with more of less reliance on paid ads and owning data, um, rather than depending on rising ad costs. This has to do with higher lifetime value. Repeat customers, as you know, are more profitable than new ones. It's great, and we do a lot of work to generate new clients, but the reoccurring clients are really what we're after. So you will see a better lifetime value from those existing customers. Um, Long-term growth asset referral. So consistently communicating with your current customer base, keeps your business top of mind and allows people to spread the word of mouth. And email and SMS consistently deliver some of the highest ROI in digital marketing. So we're big believers in owning your own customer data, and that's using a customer relation management system, a CRM, which will store that data for you and allow you to automate communication through SMS, text message marketing, or email marketing to drive repeat business. Keep customers in the know of upcoming pest control tips or seasons that they should be aware of, and generate referrals and other opportunities. But let's now talk about some numbers and the right ones. So KPIs, key performance indicators to track. So each one of these metrics ties marketing activity directly to revenue, and these are the ones we like to highlight and focus on. First is cost per lead. So what is the actual cost per lead that you receive, and then lead to booked job conversion rate. So, you know, it's one part to get leads into your system, into your pipeline, but at the end of the day, it's all about converting those jobs into actual booked jobs and customers. So we want to see that metric, that percentage of what percent of those leads that came in actually converted to a book job. Another KPI is lead response time. This has to do with what we touched on earlier in terms of really making sure that your response times are dialing. I know we shared the stat about aiming for 5 minutes. Really, as quick as you can is where you want to be at. If you can be under 5 minutes to really make sure that your customers aren't searching and shopping around for other, um, competitors. Managing that response time is really critical to capturing as many book jobs as possible. And then your customer acquisition cost. So how much does it actually cost to acquire a customer from, everything that goes into your marketing spend to, closing and converting into a book job. And then lastly, your revenue per channel. A lot of pest control companies and other service-based businesses love to test out different marketing channels, which is great. And it's important to track, which ones are actually driving revenue. And it could vary by different demographics and geography where your business is located. Some areas perform better than others in different digital channels, and it's important that you are tracking those because it's all tied to revenue. And once you figure out what's working well for your area and for your business, absolutely you want to double down on that channel for your business. Well, we talked about these KPIs and your reporting doesn't have to be that complicated. We love to set up a dashboard or reports that track these KPIs because we believe that weekly, and we like to do this weekly um, for our customers, this visibility creates accountability and improvement. Where improvement is measured, uh, performance can improve. So tracking weekly leads by source, the cost per lead, as we talked about, the book jobs, the monthly revenue attribution, and really just tracking trends over time. If you're not measuring these things, you can improve it, and it's definitely an opportunity to capture um, more revenue and more jobs for your business is tracking these different KPIs weekly at the most, if not daily, especially when you're first starting out. It's important to stay on top of these. Now let's talk about what not to do, mistakes to avoid in 2026, and that is chasing every new tactic, um, especially uh, in this age with social media and all the content that's out there. It's easy to see a tactic or a trend and want to try it right away. And it's important that you think it through and see if it really applies to your business, um, before investing a lot into it. Ignoring follow-up systems. We talked about this. Systems and processes are what's going to make or break a lot of companies in 2026. So ignoring these follow-up systems and just thinking that speaking to the customer once is going to get the job done and convert them is something a lot of companies might make a mistake of. And not tracking performance, we just touched on this with the KPIs. Not tracking the performance, you're not able to, really evaluate what's working well and what's not for your business, and you could potentially miss out on a lot of good opportunities. And then lastly, giving up too early. Marketing fails most often from being impatient, and this is a hard principle to learn for any company, and especially in home services. But it's important to, if you're going to invest the time and effort into some of these marketing initiatives, to at least give yourself a timeline. Talk to your marketing specialists or agency or whoever it is you're using, and really understand what the right runway is to see that marketing initiative through to make sure that you just don't give up too early before you start to see some results. Because truth is, some of it does take time, but it just depends on the marketing objectives and goals that you're working with. Um, we definitely want to talk about being consistent in your execution is really what's going to stand out and make you win in 2026. So we're just touching on, not giving up too early, but commitment to your SEO updates monthly. That SEO just compounds over time, especially as get good at, tracking your keywords and what's going to rank you the best in your local market. Being consistent with those SEO updates will compound and deliver really good results. Publishing that short form video weekly. Again, short term video, is sometimes a tough thing to get around, especially for owners that don't have tons of time. But again, it's not thinking that it has to be a perfectly produced video, but being consistent and showing the realness of your company, it really builds trust in the eyes of the customers. Focusing on ads that have the high intent searches, so really being intentional with what you're targeting in your ads with those keywords, and then following up immediately. Can't stress this enough. The communication, the response times. You put in so much time and effort into your marketing plan, and to have the leads come in and not have the right system and process in place to really have those touch points with the customer in a timely manner. You'd hate to see it get lost or pushed to the side or left behind because you don't have potentially a system or process in place, whether it's having a dedicated person on the phones or building out uh, a system through a CRM or some other software to really keep those touch points timely. So results compound when effort is consistent, even if execution isn't perfect. We really believe in that. So for the next 90 days, what we encourage the pest control business owners to do is take a look at what you're at right now. Actually, take a look at what happened in 2025 if you haven't already. Audit your current marketing and start to think through these things for 2026. You definitely want to fix those visibility issues that specifically relates to the Google Business Profile, your Google account, your website, making sure those things are all dialed in before you start um, ramping up your marketing and your marketing spend. You want to make sure that, if someone's going to come to your Google Business Profile, your website, that you have everything lined up from a visibility and trust signal standpoint to help with those conversions. Want to commit to that consistent content. Again, doesn't have to be anything sophisticated or highly produced, but be consistent, with posting on your Google Business Profile, on your social channels, monthly blogs, whatever it is, just be consistent so you can see those compounded results throughout 2026. And make sure to track those KPIs. We highlighted the key ones that we believe in, and maybe there's a couple others for your specific business or area, but track them so you can really evaluate the progress. And as you evaluate that progress, you will see your performance improve because you can now see areas that you can improve upon and make those adjustments throughout the year and optimize based on the data. So if you're tracking these KPIs and your performance, like I said, then you can just optimize based off of that information and hopefully see the results that you are aiming for 2026. If you have any other questions, we're Premier Pest Control Marketing. We focus and all of our marketing specific to pest control companies. We're happy to do a free strategy call for your business. You can reach us at Cameron at premierpestcontrolmarketing.com. We'd be happy to do a strategy session, evaluate and audit your current business, and discuss opportunities so you can win in 2026. We'd like to thank you all for joining and hope you have a great day.